Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. Emperor Qin Shi Huang, one of the most legendary figures in Chinese history, succeeded in unifying the six warring states, Han, Zhao, Wei, Chu, Yan, and Qi, achieving the monumental task of unifying China. Truly majestic, with a gaze as fierce as a tiger and an aura that could swallow 1,000 miles. He cleaved through the clouds with his sword. Kings from various states bowed to him, marking the completion of his unrivaled and legendary conquests. As a result, he holds an immensely high position in Chinese history and remains a ruler with an aura of legend. According to historical records, Qin Shi Huang was the first emperor to unify the vast land of China. And he was also the first to adopt the title of emperor. To solidify his power, he implemented a centralized system of governance, which had a profound and lasting influence on the management of the entire feudal society. This system would later serve as a model for many succeeding rulers. Economically, Qin Shi Huang standardized currency and measurement systems. Culturally and socially, he implemented policies such as uniform writing and vehicle tracks. He also decreed that law should be the guide and that officials should serve as teachers. Militarily, he defeated the Xiongnu to the north, claimed territories in Hunan, and built the Great Wall of China. To the south, he conquered the Baiyue people, constructing the Ling Canal to connect the Yangtze and Pearl River systems. Qin Shi Huang's remarkable achievements became the lifelong pursuit of subsequent emperors. The title of emperor, which he established, has been used for over 2,000 years. Many later emperors modeled their systems and governance after his, though not everything was strictly copied. One notable difference is that only Qin Shi Huang wore a black dragon robe, while later emperors typically did not wear black dragon robes. Why was this the case? According to some historians, China's long history saw numerous dynasties and emperors. Some emperors rose through their own wisdom and strength, becoming heroes in history, while others were fortunate to be born into royalty, inheriting the throne from their ancestors. While the number of emperors is vast, the color yellow was traditionally reserved for emperors, symbolizing supreme imperial authority. However, Qin Shi Huang's dragon robe was not yellow but black. Qin Shi Huang's choice of a black dragon robe was not arbitrary. As early as the Warring States period, the philosopher Zhou Yan of Qi proposed the theory of the five elements: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, which are interconnected and influence each other. The rise and fall of dynasties were also closely linked to the changes in these elements. Records in the Han Shu, Book of Han, mention an event from Qin history. Long ago, Duke Wen of Qin went hunting and captured a black dragon. At the time, people believed the black dragon symbolized water virtue, and black was considered the color of water. Consequently, Qin began to revere black as a color of nobility. After Qin Shi Huang defeated the six states and unified China, the Guinyang scholars confirmed that Qin belonged to the water virtue category. According to the five elements theory, the four dynasties, Xia, Shang, Zhou, and Qin, represented wood, metal, fire, and water, respectively. The Shang dynasty defeated the Xia because metal overcomes wood. The Zhou overthrew the Shang because fire overcomes metal, and the Qin replaced the Zhou because water overcomes fire. Qin Shi Huang, believing in this theory, adopted black as the color representing his dynasty. From the emperor to the commoners, almost everyone wore black. And even the palace decoration was primarily black. So, how did the color of the dragon robe shift to yellow? Some historians argue that after the fall of the Qin dynasty, the Han dynasty took over the rule of China. Based on the theory of the five elements, earth overcomes water, and the color of earth is yellow. Thus, the emperors of the Han dynasty chose yellow for their dragon robes. However, the founding emperor of the Han dynasty, Liu Bang, had an official named Zhangcang, who was highly critical of Qin Shi Huang's actions. He believed that Qin Shi Huang was both foolish and tyrannical, committing many heinous acts, such as the infamous burning of books and burying of scholars, which he felt made him unworthy of being emperor. Zhang Tsung argued that the fall of the Qin dynasty was a result of its own wrongdoings, while the rise of the Han dynasty was a divine retribution, even avenging the Zhou dynasty. The Han dynasty was supposed to continue the fire element of the Zhou dynasty. Therefore, initially, the dragon robes of the Han emperors were red, symbolizing the attribute of fire. However, over time, Emperor Wu of the Han began to reassess the historical significance of Qin Shi Huang and decided to properly evaluate the merits and flaws of the Qin dynasty. The ancient Chinese placed great importance on the theory of the five elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, water. And from the time of the Yellow Emperor to the Qin dynasty, a complete cycle of the five elements had been fulfilled. Emperor Wu believed he was of the earth element, so he changed the dragon robe to yellow. However, at that time, yellow was not yet exclusively reserved for the emperor. It was during the Sui and Tang dynasties that yellow was firmly established as the imperial color. Under Emperor Wen of the Sui dynasty, people generally regarded yellow as the most noble color. And thus, the yellow robe became the attire exclusively for the emperor. However, at that time, common people were not yet prohibited from wearing yellow clothes. It was during the Tang dynasty, under Emperor Gaozu, that the state officially decreed that commoners could no longer wear yellow, clearly marking yellow as the color of the emperor and ensuring that ordinary citizens could not wear the same clothes as the emperor. It wasn't until the Song dynasty that yellow was fully cemented as the symbol of imperial authority. Many are familiar with the story of Zhao Kuangyin, the founding emperor of the Song dynasty, who was draped in the yellow robe and became emperor. At that time, as he marched his army to the Qinxiao post, a yellow robe prepared by his subordinates was placed on him, and he was immediately proclaimed emperor. Zhao Kuangyin, however, feigned reluctance, saying, "You all seek wealth and status and wish to make me emperor. But from now on, you must obey my orders, or I will not accept the throne." The supporters all pledged, "We will obey your orders." Soon after, the leading soldiers of the Qinxiao rebellion, without bloodshed, took control of the capital of the later Zhou dynasty, Kaifeng, creating the miracle of establishing a great dynasty without shedding blood. On the fourth day of the first lunar month, Zhao Kuangyin led his main forces back to Kaifeng, forced Emperor Gong of the later Zhou to abdicate, and easily took control of the later Zhou regime. He then made Emperor Gong and the nobleman Cai Zongshuan dukes of Zheng. Since Zhao Kuangyin had served as the governor of the Guizhou military command in Songzhou, modern-day Shangqiu, Hunan, he adopted Song as the name of his new dynasty, with Kaifeng as its capital, thus founding the Song dynasty. From that point on, the yellow robe became a symbol of the emperor. And yellow was exclusively reserved for the emperor until the end of the feudal era. It's also interesting to note why later emperors in Chinese history never adopted a black dragon robe. This is a very fascinating topic. Some historians, after research, believe that, apart from Qin Shi Huang, who had a particular fondness for black, later emperors refrained from using black for their dragon robes either because they dared not, or they feared it. Firstly, although the Qin dynasty unified the world and Qin Shi Huang hoped his empire would endure for long, the Qin dynasty lasted only a short time and even the second emperor didn't survive long. As a result, scholars in the feudal society began to wonder if the Qin dynasty's overemphasis on black contributed to this tragic outcome. Secondly, in ancient times, black clothing was often worn during religious ceremonies or funerals, which were solemn occasions, often associated with an atmosphere of sadness or even bad omens. Black was commonly linked with death and mourning in the minds of the ancient Chinese. Therefore, black was associated with unlucky events. For those emperors seeking long-lasting peace and stability, who wouldn't want to firmly secure their rule? No one wanted to repeat the tragic fate of the Qin dynasty, which fell after only 2 generations. As a result, many emperors had a psychological aversion to using black, fearing that it might bring bad omens to their reign. Therefore, they were reluctant to use black as the color for their dragon robes, fearing it might signal an unfavorable fate for their rule. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone and see you in the next time.